Hello and welcome to Digi Hunt. My name is Sandeep. And right now I have with me the very beautiful, the Southern Siren, I'd say, Priyamani with us. Hello, Priya, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much.
Priya, at the very outset, I'd like to ask you that it all began at a very early age. What exactly? I mean, how did you exactly, take it all inside of you? I mean, your modeling career, and then graduate films, and the recipient of a national award and 3 Filmfare Awards. How did it all come to place for that
Um, well, if you ask me like that, I really don't know how to answer because I think it was all. I think I was just lucky that I got to be a part of such a fabulous industry in the South. I started my career in the South. I
matter?
started with a Tamil film. I started my career in 2002. So I'm almost about 19 years in the industry, and right from an early age, I have started working with, or I have worked with the biggest names in the industry. Like my very first film was with Mr. Bharti Raja, then it was with Mr. Balu Mahendra, then it was Mani Ratnam sir, then it was Amir sir, then I have worked with Puri sir, Puri Jagannath, I've worked with Ram Gopal Verma, so Rajmouli sir, so you name it, and almost all the directors I've worked with. So I think I consider myself really lucky, and at an
Mm,
early stage of my career to receive the national award is actually a very, very big thing. Though at
absolutely.
that point of time, it was really, I didn't know how to, sink it all in at that point of time when I received the award because, um, honestly speaking, I did not make it a big deal at that point of time because obviously,
Mm,
yeah, I mean, I was what, about I don't even, I mean, 2007 or 2006 was when I got it, and I was still so young in the industry that, I didn't even know that it actually meant one of the highest honors, in the cinema industry to receive a national award. It's like a really high honor. And I just took it so lightly at that point in time. But then slowly I just realized that, okay, it's actually quite a big honor that, you've been conferred the national award for the best actress. And then I flew all the way to Delhi and I met her honorable, president and Pratika Patilji, and to receive the award from her was actually a big thing. And I still have the photo with me at
mm.
home. And then after that, obviously, all the other Filmfare awards and things like that. So for me, awards are actually rewards. Though people might say that some of them are rigged and some of them are,
Yeah, yeah.
all that. I feel that if you get, whatever award be it, even if it is like physically you get an award, or the best award can be the people who tell you that the work that you're doing is the best thing, and when they appreciate your work, I think that itself is the biggest award for me. And I'm really fortunate that right from my first film, the same people who wrote in my first film, I still remember the first film that I did in Tamil, they said I overacted and things like that. But they should also realize that, I've never come from any acting school. I
Mm.
did not even know what an acting school was. And all my acting schools are my directors and whatever they taught me, and all the directors right now that I'm working with, what they teach me. So I really like to thank all of them. And I think that I just consider myself lucky. And I think I'm one of God's favorite childs to have received so much of love and affection right at an early age. And I still am receiving. Maybe I don't know, I don't want to, I'm not trying to boast about myself, but I think I can
Mm.
very proudly say that I'm receiving double the love and double the affection from people right now at this age, at this
Wow,
stage.
that's such a lovely and a modest way to put it all. That's a lovely, lovely statement, Priya.
Thank you.
Uh, Priya, your family was into plantation business. Your mother was a badminton player. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, so did the seed of acting? I mean, was it a very early thing, or did it happen at a very early stage? Did you ever imagine that you would ever enter the industry, the showbiz industry for that?
Honestly speaking, I thought I would take take up badminton just like my mom, because she is represented India. She's played with Mr. Prakash Padukone and she's represented India. She was India number 2. My father he's played Ranji, he's played cricket during his heydays. He's represented Kerala. So yes, there is a sports background in my family, and I did think that I would take badminton up pretty seriously. And I was a district level player badminton for Bangalore, but I didn't take it up very seriously because I don't know, maybe I was just lazy and I didn't want to put all that, too much of hours of work and practice and things like that for badminton. But I'm still not bad at it. I mean, you give me a racket and I can still play a good. I think I can play a good game right now. Though I may not be as I was, I may not be as agile that I was before, but I can still play a game. I can hold a game. I hope I can hold a game. Though it's been quite a while since I've held a racket, but I think the seed of modeling came up first for me when I was in college. I had an interest in modeling, and then I think slowly from there, once I started, I did a lot of modeling work in the south. I did a lot of sari ads and a lot of jewelry ads in the south, and I think slowly once the pictures started getting circulated amongst once they started printing the photographs and once my ads started coming on television, I think a lot of these directors took interest. And my very first audition, if I may say, the only audition that I've done my entire life, from the time I started up till now, the only audition I've done my entire life was for a Malayalam film. And it was a very first film, and that too I was in college. And
So before that, you've never quite auditioned for any film, you mean?
Never.
Wow, that's so good.
And so the only audition that I've done for my entire life was for a Malayalam film, and that too when I was in college. I flew all the way to Kerala. I met, as everybody knows, very famous actor, Mr. Fahad Fazil, his father, Mr. Fazil. So I met Fazil sir, and it was supposed to be Fahad's first film as well. His intro film, his debut film as well. So I auditioned for that. I in fact got through the audition. Fazil sir really liked my work. I know what he saw when I was like really raw. I didn't know anything about acting. So he really liked my work and he said, I want you to be a part of the film, whatever said and done. But at that point of time, I had my exams, so I couldn't take it up. So in fact, I offered sir, I told him that I would do it after my exams, but he couldn't wait. So unfortunately, I lost the deal of working with Fahad at a very early age in my life. But I'm still waiting up on the offer. I hope I can work with him soon. But yeah, so that was my very first time I auditioned for a film. And after that, I think after I finished my during my college time, after my exams and things like that, that's when slowly I got into modeling, and then from there took the leap and did movies.
Right. Priya, one question that I should have asked you at the very beginning, but somehow skipped my mind. The times that we are living in right now, the COVID pandemic, where it's just ubiquitous everywhere, you have this, a fear of sorts for the pandemic. How is your time during the pandemic going on, and how have you held up?
See, I will not speak for the others. 2020 has been a pretty bad year for everybody.
Yes.
The 4-5 months that everybody faced, the difficulties that everybody faced, was really hard. But I can definitely say that I think in a way it was a boon for me, because I got to spend a lot of time with my family. Maximum time that I've spent with my husband and my in-laws and things like that, because I've hardly seen them at the moment. I think because the third day after I got married, I started work and I continued work, and I would just see them for hardly like 10 days, 5 days, a week maybe. But I think this was the maximum that I spent time with them. So I was really happy that I got to spend time with them. We split the work because obviously the the house help were not allowed at that point of time. So we split work. So I used to do the jhadu, my husband used to do the potha, we used to hang the clothes out for drying, we used to go buy we used to buy groceries for the house and things like that. So in a way, we used to we used to watch a lot of series together, we used to watch a lot of movies together, we used to watch a lot of series together, whatever was released and things like that. And at that point of time, Family Man was also out. So, as a family, we all sat together, we saw the series, and we saw a lot of other series and movies as well. So, actually, we spent a lot of quality time together. So, it was really good. As I said,
In
in
fact,
personal
I had to
experience, I
work with
cannot.
many other, artists, actors, and actresses from the industry. Almost everybody had the same thing to say. I mean, it is because of the tight schedule and because of the fact that there's a lot of, goings on in the media industry. You have to like be on your toes all the time. So this is the time
Exactly.
when people used to kind of got to sit back and relax their family to kind of indulge themselves in things they actually wanted to indulge themselves in. So this
Yeah.
was a pretty nice time for most of the people I spoke.
Most of the people, yeah, I mean, albeit half the people suffered. Yes, a lot of people lost their jobs. They were fired from their
Yes.
jobs. My heart goes out to half of them. But I mean, all of them who lost their jobs, and half the people who were stuck abroad and they couldn't make it back, but they took the special flights and they came back. All that happened. But apart from that, I'm saying the people who are there locally and who you could, as actors, especially as us, because we, as you rightly said, I mean, half the time, we are on our toes. We never get to spend a lot of time with our family, hardly. There were times when even before marriage, I used to spend just like I used to come to my house, my parents' house for like a day. I used to just see them in the morning. Just I just wanted to spend time with them. So I used to do trips like that. I used to come in the morning and fly out in the night, or I used to come out in the morning and stay home for like 2 hours and then fly out again. So my parents and my sister-in-law, all of them, my bhabhi, all of them were saying like, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? I
Mm.
said, no, I just want to spend as much time as I can. I mean, even if it is 2 hours, even if it is 4 hours, even if it is a day, I'd like to spend that much time with my family. I mean, I'm not got to see them. I'm not got to speak to them. I'm not going to spend time with them, laugh with them, cry with them. Just talk to them. I didn't get time to do that, so I wanted to do that. And I think 2020 has definitely been a very bad year for everybody financially and work-wise. It has affected everybody in a bad way. But I can definitely say slowly, things are getting back to normal. But again, now with the second wave, we really don't know what is going to
Yes,
happen.
exactly. We're again back to
People are
square one.
saying that, yeah, I mean, completely, it's coming back to square one. But again, in a way, I can say the essentials are working. At least the airports and everything are working. So if you really need to fly out or meet your family, be with them and things like that, I guess if people need to fly out, I think they can. I mean, they're not stopping anybody. It's not
Mm.
completely on a lockdown. I think in a way, it is good. I can say that we're not experiencing the same thing that we experienced in 2020, and I hope we don't also. I hope people take this pandemic really seriously, and I hope they take
Mm.
the precautions and everything very seriously. Masks on, sanitizers on, whatever. We're going out, step out of the house, please wear masks and things like that, because I do see a lot of people who are going out, they wear masks, like they don't cover their noses. So
Yes,
what is the whole
exactly. They
point in
hang
wearing a
it
mask?
somewhere over here like a beard.
And half of them say we can't do that, it's very difficult to breathe. Then what's the whole point in wearing a mask? Don't wear a mask then, or don't get
Exactly.
out of the house. So I hope they take it very seriously this time, because all of them are saying that it's the second wave and it's going to be a lot more serious. So I really,
Yeah.
really hope that it doesn't affect
Yeah.
all the lives as it used to. And I hope things get back to normal very fast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's come back to his story, Priya.
Mm.
What actually made you take up the show and take up the series, and what was perhaps the most intriguing part for you to play in
So for me to take up this project was obviously the story, number one,
Mm.
because I was told uh, the story a lot, I think much before anybody else. I think Supan Verma told me the story. I think he's
Actually,
one
how
of
do
the
you
writers.
pronounce it? Is it his story or history?
His story.
His story. Okay.
And because it has two S's, so history has only one S.
Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
jokes aside,
Because
but
that would just well be a good pun for that matter. History, history.
exactly. But I would just like to say this, that I mean, I was told the story. I mean, his story at that point of time, it was not even named his story, and And so the moment I was told the story, I really liked it because, such a story on the same gender love story, I've not been told before. I mean, I've not done it before in my entire career. So I thought it'll be a new thing. It'll be a good thing also that people would see something like this, and they would also know that, as I am a strong supporter of the LGBTQ community and the transgender community, and to come up and for somebody to come up with such a good story like this, I think it would probably broaden their minds, and the society would be more welcoming to such people. And another thing also, it is not only based on LGBTQ or a gay or the same sex same gender story. It is also about how, from the point of view of the wife, how she handles such a situation, because 20 years you're married to somebody, and then all of a sudden your entire 20 years, one incident changes the whole 20 years. So how she handles the whole situation, whether she's able to, how she takes it in, whether she's able to take it in, whether she's able to come out of the situation, whether it's how she's able to handle the situation. So all that roller coaster is there in her in her character. And when I was told this, I said, it's quite interesting, because it's not something like what it's not on the same line as what The Family Man was. Yes, in that also it's pretty much the same as a matter of fact, as how she handles the family, things like that. Here also, it's like how she handles the family, she handles the husband, she handles the whole point of view of his, and how she handles a business, and how she goes about it, and how, whether she's able to do it or not. So all that factors, when Suparn told me, I said, yeah, this is something interesting, this is something nice. And for ALTBalaji to come up with such an alternative story, because usually the content that you've seen in alt it's completely different, and now they're coming up with
Or actually had brought another some kind of a homosexual story.
Yeah, it was called
दो
Married
लड़कों का
Woman or
कहानी था. I
something.
don't quite remember. Romil Jugal ऐसा कुछ तो था. Romil and Jugal or
No,
something like that.
I think it was called The Married Woman or something, because that's what I saw the update on it. And that was also based on the same sex story. So that got a lot of appreciation, that got a lot of applause, and for such a story, because alt, uh, you know, not trying to be, very sounding indifferent, but alt definitely had a different content at one point in time. But I think they're coming out of it, they're coming up with more meaningful subjects, they're coming up with more content driven
Yes.
subjects right now, and which actually makes people of all ages sit up and watch and say, okay, this is what is happening in our society. And I think they need to open their eyes and think that, okay, what, I think something like this may happen, may not happen. So when people watch his story when it comes out, I think people can relate to the character, saying, Arey, oh, you know what, something like this could have happened in their lives, something like this could have happened in somebody who they know, their lives and things like that. So I think it's very content driven, it's very story driven. And I think when it comes out on 25th, I think everybody should sit and watch his story. They'll know what I'm talking about. It'll definitely tug the heartstrings at the right places.
I hope so. Priya, you've got to tell me that when you're actually looking in a particular script for the matter, what is that one thing that perhaps intrigues you? I mean, besides the story, of course. I mean, do you actually think about how you're going to perform a particular scene if you have the entire screenplay with you, or was it that actually turns you on as far as a script is concerned?
See, for me, it is just the story and how the character is shaped. And then obviously during the, I still remember, I think during the script reading also, there were a lot of scenes and dialogues which were not finished. I mean, it was not the final, the final dialogues or the final script and things like that. There's still a lot to work on. But when we did the reading itself, we got an idea as to how the characters are getting shaped, how they're going to turn out, what is going to be, how the characters going, which are going to be, not only the main three, that is not only Sakshi, Kunal, and Preet, but the other characters also, how they are going to, how they fit into the story, and how important it is. And so when we shoot also, we get an idea as to how convincing we can make it. So as actors, I think in that way I can definitely say that Prashant as a director is very, very he's very open to suggestions. He's very flexible in that way, saying, okay guys, listen, so I know you guys are actors, you guys are good actors. Now this is the scene, I need to see how you guys would react to it, how you guys would come out with it, and how you guys would how you guys would react to this scene. How do you think that if it is a scene between Kunal and Sakshi, how would you guys react to each other's thing? What would you do? What would your body language be? So he used to actually leave it to us to, even if we had to change a dialogue or whatever on the spot, do an improv, he was ready for it. He'd say, just do it. I mean, if you think that that makes a character look better or character sound better, not only to us, as I'm saying, if this was a scene between Kunal, Sakshi, and the kids, he would say, "Acha, listen, this is what it is. This is the outline of the whole thing." So he used to just give us an outline, and then we used to do our markings ourselves. We used to say, "Acha, ye dialogue say ye dialogue. I'll say it like this. I'll do this place. I'll say it in this place. Then this place, this one can come." So he used to just let us explore and be ourselves on the set and things like that. So in that way, I think Prashant is also has been a fabulous director. And for me, I'm a very on the spot actor, if you know what I mean. I'm very instinctive. What I feel at that point of time, I just do it. And I would also put it across to the director, saying, "Sir, this is what I feel Sakshi as a character would do," or if it was me in real life, I would probably react this way and things like that. So I'm very instinctive in that way. So I think that is what gets me more. It gets me working more to see how I would react if it was my personal life, how I would react and things like that. So I try to bring in all some sort of real touch to the character. So I think that's what keeps me going.
All right. Okay. Also, you've got to shed light on the difference between working for the southern film industry and the mainstream Bollywood. Did you actually experience anything of that sort, or perhaps besides the language barrier, for sure?
No, I didn't get you. Say that again, please.
What, according to you, is perhaps one of the most differentiating factors between working for the southern film industry and the Bollywood mainstream industry, for that matter? I mean, besides obviously the language barrier.
I think apart from the language, I don't think anything else is different. But yes, when you're working in a web space, everything is sync sound, so the entire set has to be really silent. But apart from that, I think working in a south industry and working here in Bollywood is pretty much the same. As I said, apart from the language, your director, your co-stars, your unit changes. But apart from that, I think it's pretty much the same. Web space, yes, as I said, because since sync sound, the whole set has to be like pin drop silence. Not even one person can speak. If you have somebody speaks or there's a sound, we have to start right from the start. So that's the only hiccup. But apart from that, there's nothing else.
All right. Okay. And when we're talking about you as an actress and the fact that you have really made it big at the southern part of the country, are you actually looking forward to this particular outing of yours as perhaps your big ticket to Bollywood, for that matter?
Am I looking at the? You're asking if I'm looking at this as a big ticket?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you're talking about ALTBalaji, you're talking about really a big production house, that matters. So, I mean, have you ever given it a thought?
I haven't. Honestly, for me, work is work, and if it clicks, it clicks. If it doesn't, I'll keep working hard. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, because working in a web space or working in movies is all I have known my entire life. I mean, I've been working for half of my life. I've been working, and I really don't know, and I've not given it a thought whether it would be my big ticket. But actually, you see, I have already started work. I have already done some Bollywood films much before I entered the web space. So if it catapults me into a bigger thing, why not? Yeah, I mean, I definitely welcome it with open arms, for sure.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, Priya, one last question that I have to ask you. During the lockdown, especially during 2020, there was a lot of halabaloo on the social media about nepotism and how in Bollywood, I mean, that obviously doesn't quite exist in the southern film industry, according to Kangana Ranaut, for that matter. I mean, the fact that she brought about this entire nepotism debate, she actually brought it out in front of the entire country, for that matter, on national television. She keeps on talking about social media as well, and it actually became the cause of a national debate. Have you ever experienced any sort, especially in this part of the country?
See, with all to whatever Kangana has said, I comment on that. But if you ask me whether I faced it, I have not faced it so far. Right from the time I started working till now, I have not faced any nepotism. I have been getting work because of my merit. I've been getting work because of the work that I do, because the body of work that follows me, and that is taking me forward as well. So I have not faced it, and I don't think I'm the right person to comment on whether whatever she said was true, not true, whether there's nepotism, no nepotism, and even if it is there, we are nobody to comment on it. Because, and another thing, I think one thing I would just like to share is star kids they are also somebody's children. It's not their fault that they were born into a star family, and I think in a way, yes, in a way, I can say that they might get things easy because they are born into such a known family. But
Right.
to keep alive, they have to work doubly hard. Just because they are somebody's kid or somebody's
They have to
brother
live
or
up to the
something.
expectations of the audience, is what you're trying to say.
Exactly. I think throughout their life, they have to live with the expectation that they match up to their famous sibling, or will they match up to their famous auntie or uncle or whoever,
Yeah.
whatever, their mother, father, whatever. I think it's really hard for them to um, live up to the name, because they have to live up their end life. Because whatever they, even if they make a small move or something, they'll be like, oh, you know what, this person's sibling did this person's daughter did this person's son did this. So they have to live up to that their entire life, and I
Right.
don't think that is fair to them, which is all I'd like to say. I won't say anything else.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for being a part of this lovely conversation, Priya.
Thank
Might
you.
be wait in this times. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye bye.
Thank you. I'll share the recording.
Do record send.
Sure. Cool. Thank you.
I
Bye.
cannot see you. Where are you?
So my video is off.
Actually, you
That's
have
why you
switched
can't
off
see
your
me.
camera.
Yeah. I've like switched off my camera right now. So I've hidden my this
Acha,
thing. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Cool. Shut up. See you. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye.